Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we will address another interesting topic. In a world where everything feels urgent, fast and loud, there's one skill that's quickly becoming rare and powerful: stability. Not the kind that comes from doing nothing or playing it safe, but the kind that comes from knowing who you are, structuring your life with intention, and moving forward without losing your center. This is radical stability. Radical stability doesn't mean you're boring. It means you're solid, grounded, unshakable. It means you don't rise and fall with every trend or crisis. You're not looking for the next dopamine hit. You've built a rhythm, a system, and a self-respect that keeps you anchored, even when life gets messy. Most people chase noise, they chase popularity, they chase what looks exciting. But the people who build real power, they chase depth. They build routines. They simplify instead of complicate. They engineer peace instead of reacting to chaos. In a culture addicted to stimulation, stillness becomes a superpower. In a world screaming for attention, silence becomes strength. And when everyone else is running from themselves, radical stability teaches you to sit with discomfort until it becomes clarity. You can't reach long-term success in survival mode, and yet most people live like every day is a fire drill. Wake up late, rush, scroll, react, complain, repeat. No wonder they're exhausted. You're not tired, you're overstimulated. You don't need more energy, you need more rhythm. That's what stability gives you. It gives you space, margin, mental room to think, plan, and reflect. It gives you sovereignty over your time, your emotions, and your focus. And in a world of distraction, that's a competitive advantage. Radical stability means you stop negotiating with chaos. You stop normalizing burnout. You stop believing that being overwhelmed is a badge of honor. You start designing your days with intention. You prioritize sleep because you respect your future. You say no more often because your attention is currency. You stop chasing motivation and start building systems. That's the difference between people who burn out and people who build. The builders don't rely on energy, they rely on architecture. They have guardrails, they have rituals, they protect their mornings, structure their evenings, and eliminate what drains them. You want more peace? Look at your inputs. Who do you follow? What are you consuming? What conversations are you having every day? Radical stability means you take responsibility for your emotional ecosystem. You unfollow, unsubscribe, unplug, not to escape, but to return to center. We don't talk enough about nervous system hygiene. You can meditate for 10 minutes and then fry your brain with 4 hours of TikTok and wonder why you feel numb. You don't need another productivity hack. You need fewer adrenaline spikes. You need better internal wiring. True confidence is quiet. It comes from self-trust. And self-trust is built through stability. When you follow through on small promises, wake up early, eat clean, move daily, reflect regularly, you begin to believe in your own consistency. And once you believe in yourself, everything changes. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Radical stability isn't about rigidity. It's about rhythm. It's about reducing unnecessary chaos so you can focus on what matters. It's about designing a life that makes excellence easier and burnout harder. Start with your calendar. Block out time for sleep like you would for a meeting. Put movement on the schedule. Define a shut-off time for work. Put your phone in another room for the first 30 minutes of the day. These aren't just productivity tips. They're nervous system strategies. They're how you take control. The world will always offer you more noise, more urgency, more pressure, but you don't have to accept it. You can choose something better. You can design your space, your routines, and your relationships in a way that multiplies your peace. You don't need a perfect plan, you need fewer distractions. You don't need to do more, you need to subtract more. Most clarity comes not from adding but from removing. Simplify your environment, reduce your inputs, and your vision will sharpen. That's how focus is born. And when you feel resistance, when you want to go back to old patterns, that's where the power is built. Stability isn't exciting, it's not dramatic, but it's effective, and it's repeatable. It's built on choices that seem invisible, but compound massively over time. The strongest people aren't always the loudest. They're the most centered. They move slower, but with more purpose. They don't panic when plans shift. They adjust. They don't argue with reality. They work with it. And they win. Not because they had more, but because they were more disciplined with less. Stability doesn't mean settling. It means optimizing. It means building your life around what matters and cutting out what doesn't. You become someone who moves intentionally, rests strategically, and acts decisively. So what does this look like in real life? It looks like a routine that centers you, not drains you. It looks like having non-negotiables for your health, your mindset, and your energy. It looks like leaving conversations that leave you worse and entering rooms that sharpen you. If you want calm, create structure. If you want power, master your energy. If you want freedom, build systems. Radical stability is not the opposite of ambition, it's the foundation of it. When your world is stable, your mind is free to create. Your body recovers faster, your focus sharpens, your results compound. You stop managing crisis and start building legacy. And here's the part no one tells you. Stability isn't found. It's built, brick by brick, habit by habit, boundary by boundary. And once you build it, you'll never go back to chaos again. Stability is not the absence of pressure. It's the ability to stand tall while it's pushing against you. It's about controlling your breath when your heart is racing. It's about staying with your principles when emotions want to hijack your discipline. This isn't about removing ambition, it's about redirecting it. Ambition without grounding becomes obsession, but ambition with stability becomes mastery. When you slow down and build roots, you grow stronger. You make decisions from clarity, not impulse, and your results start to reflect that. There's a reason high performers rely on routines, not because they're trying to impress anyone, but because they know the secret to elite results is boring consistency. It's not the hacks, it's not the rush, it's the sleep, the planning, the journaling, the process. If you're always reacting, you're not creating. If you're constantly distracted, you're not aligned. Radical stability helps you reconnect with your long game. It reminds you that real power isn't explosive, it's consistent. It's what you do when no one's watching. You don't need more apps. You need more quiet. You don't need a better to-do list. You need a better reason to wake up. Stability teaches you to zoom out, to see your life not just as a series of days, but as a design project. Something you shape deliberately. And yes, people might not get it. They'll see you saying no to noise and think you're boring, but you're not here to impress, you're here to build. And what you're building requires focus, it requires patience, it requires you to be different than the average. What's the cost of ignoring this? A life full of movement and no direction, exhaustion that never goes away, achievements that feel empty. But with stability, you flip the script, you slow the chaos, you amplify the clarity, you regain control. Here's your challenge. Don't wait for peace to show up. Create it. Don't wish for a calm life. Build one. Start today. Identify one area of chaos. Your morning routine, your environment, your calendar, and start simplifying it. Build one stabilizing habit and anchor it deep. You don't need to go viral. You need to go within. You don't need to do what everyone else is doing. You need to do what aligns with who you're becoming. Radical stability is quiet, but it's undefeated, because in the end it's not how fast you go, it's how strong your foundation is. Build your base, guard your peace, design your structure. Your future self is watching, and they will thank you for choosing stillness in a world that never stops moving.